Afternoon Troopers. I'm fat because every time I beat your mum at Tekken 2, she gives me a biscuit, and she's really bad at Tekken 2. People often say to me, "Your man cave, what's it all about?" And I say, well, it's about toys and collectibles, Star Wars and Star Trek and books and Terry Pratchett and Firefly and Futurama and Marvel and Tut everywhere. But most of the time, it's about retro gaming. And then the same people say to me, "Tubby, how do I get into retro gaming? Because I want the adoration and the chicks and the sweet, sweet income." And I say, if you're not already into it, don't. It's true. Anyway, so a lot of people want to get involved with retro gaming for reasons. Normally they've hit a midlife crisis or their children are getting a little bit too aggressive and they want to regress to a time when things were happier. Or they've got a bit of money in their pockets and they want to experience the fun they had as a child when they didn't have the pressures of modern life. There's lots of different reasons why people get involved in retro gaming, but 9 times out of 10 it's immaturity. Am I colouring you all with my own insecurities there? I think I might be. So, this is my Woody. Atari 2600, classic. Look at that logo is just classic. It's like in a slightly silver with the classic logo on wood. It's not real wood, it's veneer. It's like being in a Kia. You know the old Kias when they had the wood finish? I've got open pore ash in my car, it's really nice, it's real wood. Anyway, so this is a light sixer because it's got 6 buttons and it doesn't weigh a ton. And if you're going to play old Atari games, the purists will tell you this is the best way to do it. It's a hassle though. It is a hassle. It's got a aerial coax connection. It's got ye olde power supply that will burn your house down. It's the purist's way, it's the perfect way, and it's the way that if you want to do it as you would have experienced it back in the day, it's worth going for. But then again, you need an old CRT TV with it as well. Modern TVs don't like really old games consoles. In fact, some modern TVs struggle with N64s and stuff. And PS2s even. And they're sort of, there's adult humans that were alive when PS2, there was flat screen TVs alive when there was PS2s around. But there are other ways. There are other ways to experience retro gaming before you take the leap into buying a Woody or a Dreamcast or a Mega Drive or a Master System to make sure that it is actually what you want, because they don't all look like you remember. I was talking to Adam at Born to Game about this when the new Crash Bandicoot came out, and how that the new Crash Bandicoot looks how you remember original Crash Bandicoot looking. It doesn't look like Crash Bandicoot looked, it looks how you remember it, which is a really clever thing. And the thing is, when you play old games now that you haven't played for ages, oftentimes it's not, oh, this is just as I remember it, it's, oh, this looks terrible, I remember it being much better. And that's because your expectations have moved on, because we've had the massive jump from PS2 to PS3 and the slightly larger jump from PS3 to PS4. I think that it's telling that there's lots of games that work really well on PS3 and PS4. I don't think there's that big a jump, personally. But what do I know? I'm just a fat man on the internet with a helmet. So, what happens if you want to get involved in retro games, but you don't want to shell out on the old consoles, you haven't got room for the old consoles? Well, believe it or not, buddy, there are options. Now, there's been a lot of retro mini consoles coming out recently. I've got the NES and the SNES Mini. Of the two, I prefer the SNES Mini, but I was never a massive Nintendo fan of that era. Very rare I have them on, especially the NES. Very rare I have the NES on, but the SNES comes out quite regular for Street Fighter 2 Turbo and a few other bits and bobs. But what happens if you want to try out some older games? Well, there are options. Now this is my This is pretty much retro in its own, because this is the Jack's Pacific from 2002. And this has just got a left audio and a video connector. So it fits really great. And it's just, there's loads of games on it. I can't remember how many games there are. I think it might be 100. Or there might be less than that. I don't know. But there's games on it. And it's got like Asteroid, Centipede, Missile Command. The ones that you played. I think it might even have Pac-Man on, but I'm not sure. And it's a pretty much one-to-one. Feels right. And you just plug it into your TV. I think this is better than some of the ones that have come later. But that means it's quite expensive now, because this is 17 years old. This can nearly vote. Wow. How much different was my life 17 years ago? Oh, don't start down that road. But there's even easier ways to try old games on stuff that you can get hold of easy now without having to faff and go around too many vintage shops and buy online about stuff you don't know whether it's going to work. You don't know whether it's going to work with your TV. And these are the collections of old games. I've got, confusingly, and my OCD doesn't like this, but I've got Midway Arcade Treasures 1 on PS2. And I've got Midway Arcade Treasures 2 on PS2. And Midway Arcade Treasures 3 on original Xbox. Oh, it makes me so mad! But, oh dear, I set myself into the future then. Some great games on these. Genuinely great games on these. So on the original one, you've got Smash TV, Bubbles, Road Blasters. You've got Marble Madness, Paperboy, Rampage, Joust. Rampage. I do like a bit of Rampage. Rampage! So that's a good buy. And then Midway Treasures 2. You've got Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3, Gauntlet 2, Zybots. How good is Zybots? Google Zybots. It's XY. Is it Zybots? XYBOTS. Primal Rage, Rampage World Tour. There's some good stuff on there. Hard Driving. That's how I always drive, baby. Ramp it. And then Arcade Treasures 3 has got Stun Runner. That's not as good, actually. I remember that not being so good. But there is some stuff on there. It's all fun in the hun, baby. But if that's not to your taste, I don't know why it wouldn't be. There's an Atari Anthology. Is that the right terminology? Anthology? And this has got the ones that you want as well. This has got 18 games on it. So Centipede, Missile Command, Asteroids, Breakout, Super Breakout, Millipede. It's got 67 Atari 2600 games on it. So that's a good crack. How much did I pay for that? $195 from Lighthouse. And they say there's no charity shop bargains. So that's a good crack. This one, and I believe this one, are virtually the same. This is for the PlayStation 2. Sonic the Hedgehog, Echo the Dog. Is it Echo or Eco? I'd say Echo. Echo, Eco, Echo, Eco. I'm never going to play it anyway, but I say Echo. Come on, fight me. Yeah, fight me. Flicky. It's got old Kid Chameleon. Many more. It's got many more. Comic Zone. Oh, wow. Altered Beast. Altered Beast. The cheat code for Altered Beast. Walk, walk, punch. Walk, walk, kick. Walk, kick. Punch. Walk, punch. Walk, kick. Turn into Beast. Walk, punch. Kick, walk, punch, punch, walk. So that's a good crack. And then this one is for the PS3. And this is probably the most useful because it's the most recent, but there's stuff for PS4 and I think there's even a Dreamcast one. I might get on that because it's a hassle getting my retro consoles out. Yes, I know it's not proper, it's not played on the proper console, but let emulation happen, it's happening. This one's also got Altered Beast on, Sonic the Hedgehog 3D. I can't rate Sonic the Hedgehog 3D enough. I really like Sonic the Hedgehog 3D. So that's that really. So there's ways of trying the water out before you get into buying stuff that you might play it and think, oh, this isn't quite what I imagined. And then you've got things like this, which are sort of retro in their own right. Hey dog, I heard you like retro, so I got a retro to play your retro, so you can be retro while you're retro. 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 So this is a long video for me, but I think it's been action-packed. Sounds like my wedding night. This helmet's getting a little bit loose. Maybe I've lost a little bit of weight. Send cake. So I hope you're all enjoying these videos. Sorry about the book review one, but I wanted to do a video. I couldn't think of anything to do, and you know what? They are really good books. So if you fancy a bit of sci-fi and you want something recommending, check my last video out. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, share, because everyone wants to see a fat man in a helmet. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Please check out new videos. I try and do quite a few, like 3 or 4 a week, because I've always got something to say because I'm that kind of guy. So, thanks for watching. Do all those things that I just said with all those buttons along the bottom, and I will see you next time with another video.